Today I start AC bridge. AC bridge mainly used for the measurement of inductance, mutual inductance, capacitance, and frequency. And AC bridge application of or modification of Wheatstone bridge for the measurement of AC quantity. That means self inductance, mutual inductance. Its working principle is same as the Wheatstone bridge, that you have to balance the balance through galvanometer. So AC bridge method is outstanding importance for the measurement of electrical quantity, as for example measurement of inductance, capacitance, storage factor, loss factor, etc. So as if you compare the AC bridge with the Wheatstone bridge, so it contains 4 arms. In Wheatstone bridge there is in each arms there is a resistance. In AC bridge each arms have impedance, which is a combination of resistance, inductance, and capacitors, and battery is replaced by the AC source. And galvanometer is used is replaced by the detector, which is a sensitive for a small alternative current. So this is the modification of Wheatstone bridge and used for the measurement of capacitor, inductor, etc. Z1, Z2, Z3, Z4, Z3, Z4 are 4 arms of bridge. D is detector, used for the to find out the null point in a null point in the bridge, and DC source is replaced by AC source. So what are the characteristics and of source and detector? For measurement of lower frequency, the power line may be used as a source of supply for the bridge circuit, and for higher frequency, electronic oscillator are universally used for the bridge source supply. Detector. In detector you have to use headphone, vibrational galvanometer, and tunable amplifier detector. For frequency range from 250 to 4 kHz, headphone is used. Vibrational galvanometer is used for low frequency range, and tunable amplifier detector is used for 10 to 10 kHz frequency range. So it depends upon the measurement and frequency range of the circuit. So different type of galvanometer or detector used in the AC circuit. So first we have to discuss the general equation of bridge balance. That means to generalize how the bridge is balanced and how you have to find out the equation for the finding a different electrical quantity. So same as the Wheatstone bridge, there are 4 arms: Z1, Z2, Z3 and Z4, and there is one detector that detects a zero current through point B and point D. So if there is zero current, so suppose I1 current is flow from Z1, then same current flow through the Z3 branch, and suppose I2 current is flow through Z2, then same current is flow through the Z4 branch. And at a balance condition, suppose E1 is the voltage across branch 1, Z2 is the E2 is the voltage drop across branch 2, and E3 is the voltage drop across arm 3, and E4 is the voltage drop across arm 4. So at balance condition, when there is no current through the detector, the voltage across A to B point, means voltage drop across branch 1 must be equal to voltage drop across branch 2, and in same way the voltage drop across branch 3 must be equal to the voltage drop across branch 4 at balance condition. So at balance condition, E1 is equal to E2, So E1 is equal to I1 into Z1 and E2 is equal to I2 into Z2. So at balance condition I1 or I3, I1 or I3 are same. So I1 and I3 is equal to E by to applied voltage by Z1 plus Z3, and I2 or I4, that means branch 2 current and branch fourth branch current is equal to E by Z2 plus Z4. So if you put the value of I1 and I2 from this equation, then you get I1 is replaced by E by Z1 plus Z3 into Z1, and E is replaced by I2 is replaced by E by Z2 plus Z4 into Z2. So finally, if you solve this equation, then you get the Z1 into Z4 is equal to Z2 into Z3. That means in short form, or say that the opposite product of opposite branch impedance must be equal. That means Z1 into Z4 is equal to Z2 into Z4 at balance condition. So in this way you have to we have to find out the different electrical parameters like capacitor, inductors, frequency. Okay, so this is it is in the impedance form. So same way the admittance, that means Y1 into Y4 is equal to Y2 into Y3. So every impedance has some magnitude and angle. So if you represent in the magnitude angle form, then the product of magnitude must be equal and summation of angle must be equal. That means theta 1 plus theta 4 is equal to theta 2 and plus theta 3, where theta 1, theta 2, theta 3, theta 4 are impedance angle of Z1, Z2, Z3, Z4. So at a balance condition, if the Z1 into Z3 is equal to Z2 into Z3, you can also is replace in the complex form. That means product of Z1 into A plus IB. Suppose Z1 plus Z2 is equal to A plus IB, and Z2 and Z3 is equal to C plus ID. Then by equating real part to real part and imaginary part to imaginary part, you can say that A is equal to C and B is equal to D. So in this way you can find out the difference quantity. So first we have to start the measurement of self inductance. So measurement of self inductance have for the measurement of self inductance there are 4 to 5 type of bridge used for the measurement of self inductance. So one by one we discuss the for the measurement of self inductance, that means L. So first bridge, AC bridge, is Maxwell's inductance bridge. So this is the circuit diagram of Maxwell's inductance bridge. Suppose the branch 1 contains R1 and L1. L1 is the unknown inductance having internal resistance R1, and branch 3 have only resistance, branch 4 have only resistance, and branch 2 have variable resistance and variable inductance having R2 and variable inductance L2 having internal resistance E2. So same way, so if you know the balance equation of the bridge, so first we have to represent in the form of their impedance form. That means Z1 is equal to R1 plus J omega L, Z2 is equal to R2 plus small r2 plus J omega L2, Z3 is equal to R3, and Z4 is equal to R4. So now we have to draw the phasor diagram, phasor diagram of Maxwell's inductance bridge. Suppose this is the I1 current, I1 or I2 are in the same phase. So so that you can observe the I1 into R1 plus J omega L1 into is equal to E2. That means suppose this is a I1 into R1, J omega L1 I1. So the summation of I1 R1 plus J omega L1 I1 equal to E1, and E1 is equal to E2. Now R3, E3 is equal to I1 into R3. So E3 are in same phase with I1. So E3 is equal to I1 into R3 or equal to I4. That means I2 into R4. That's why the I1 and I2 are in the same phase, because E3 is equal to E4 and E3 is equal to I1 into R3 and E4 is equal to I2 into R4. So that's why the I1 and I2 are in the same phase. So suppose this is the E3 and this is E1. So you know that E1 plus E3. So you know that E1 plus E3 is equal to total applied voltage. So E3 plus E1 is equal to total applied voltage E. So this is the phasor diagram of Maxwell's inductance bridge. So now we have to discuss we have to find out the L1 and R1, that means the unknown resistance having self-inductance L1 and internal resistance R1. So at balance condition, Z1 into Z4 is equal to Z2 into Z3. So we replace Z1 by R1 plus J omega L1 into R4 and Z2 by R2 plus small r2 plus J omega L2 into R3. By solving, we have to in the left hand side now the impedance is represented in the complex form, means A plus IB, and in the right hand form again in the complex form it is represented in complex form. Now equating the real part to real part of the left hand side to right hand side and imaginary part to imaginary part of the right hand side, then we get the real part of left hand side is R1 into R4, that means equal to I2 into I2 plus small r2 into R3. So in this way you can obtain the unknown resistance of inductor. R1 is equal to R3 by R4 into R2 plus small r2. And equating the imaginary part, then L1 into R4 is equal to L2 into R4. So in this way the unknown inductance L1 is obtained using R3 by R4 into L2. So in this way you can measure the self-inductance of a circuit using Maxwell's inductance bridge. There is some disadvantage, that means it is very costly for having a variable inductor. So Maxwell's the disadvantage of Maxwell's inductance bridge is replaced by second method. Second method for the measurement of self-inductance is Maxwell's inductance capacitance bridge. In this bridge, the inductance is measured by the comparison with the standard variable capacitor. In Maxwell's inductance bridge, the inductance is measured with the variable standard and self-inductance. It means by varying the inductance and resistance. And in case of Maxwell's inductance capacitance bridge, unknown inductor is measured in terms of variable capacitor. So this is the circuit diagram or bridge configuration of Maxwell's inductance capacitance bridge. Suppose L1 is the unknown inductance that you have to measure, and R1 is the branch internal resistance of inductor. So we have to find out the L1 and R1 using the Maxwell's inductance bridge. Suppose R2 and R3 and R4 are known non-inductive resistance, and R4 are a variable capacitor. That means in the branch 4 there is a two-part variable capacitor and variable resistance. So branch current I2 is now divided into two parts. Divided into two parts, IC and IR. That means IC is the current through the capacitor and IR is the current through resistance. So I2 is equal to, in the phasor sum, is equal to IC plus IR. So next we have to first find out the each branch impedance. That means Z1 is equal to R1 plus J omega L1, Z2 is equal to R2, Z3 is equal to R3, and Z4, that is the when you obtain the equivalent parallel resistance, equivalent impedance is Z4 is equal to R4 by 1 plus j omega C4 into R4, because C4 and R4 are in a parallelly connected. So now we discuss the phasor diagram of Maxwell's inductance bridge. So suppose this is this part. Suppose this is the I1 current. This is the I1 current. So I1 current, I1 into R1 plus j omega L1 is equal to E1. E1 is equal to E2, because at a balance condition E1 is equal to E2. E2 is equal to I2 into R2. So the E2 and I2 are in the same phase. So suppose this is I2, and I2 have two parts, IC and IR. So IR must be in the same phase, and IC lead by 90 degree with the IR. So combination of IC and IR equal to I2. Okay. Now so next is E3. So E3 is equal to I1 into R3, or at balance condition E3 is equal to E4. So E4 have two component. Either you can say that IC by omega C4, or you can say IR into IR into R4. So in this way, so E3, suppose this is the E3, suppose this part is E3, so E3 is equal to I1 into R3 plus E1. So E3 plus E1 is equal to total applied voltage E. So in this way we can draw the phasor diagram of Maxwell's inductance capacitance bridge. Now for at a balance condition, Z1 into Z4 is equal to Z2 into Z3. So we have to put the Z1, Z2 value of Z1, Z2, Z3, Z4. So we are getting the equation. So now we have to equate the real part of left hand side to real part of right hand side, and imaginary part of the left hand side to the imaginary part of right hand side. By equating real part and imaginary part separately, then R1 is equal to R4 is equal to R2 into R3. Then in this way the value of unknown inductors internal resistance R1 can be represented in terms of R3 into R4 by into R2, and unknown inductance L1 is equal to R2 into R3 into C4. So in this way you have to think the two equations are separate. That means internal resistance of inductor is obtained using the balancing the R4, and inductor unknown value of inductance L1 is obtained using C4 by balancing C4. So this is the independent equation. That means by varying the C4 you can get the L1, and by varying the R4 we get the value of R1. So this is the advantage of Maxwell's inductance bridge. Now we have to measure the quality factor of the unknown inductors. Quality factor is equal to omega L1 by R1. So omega into C4 into R4. Now the advantage of Maxwell's inductance capacitance bridge. First, the two balance equations are independent. That means for the measurement of R1 and L1 are independent to each other. The frequency does not appear in two equations. That means in the R1 R1 and L1 expression there is no frequency terms. That means it is independent of the frequency. And next, the Maxwell's inductance capacitance bridge is very useful for the measurement of wide range of inductance at power and audio frequency. Next, disadvantage: the bridge is limited to measure the low Q coil, means low quality factor of Q factor of a coil. That means it is limited to measure from 1 quality factor of from 1 to 10. For high because for the high quality factor, because quality factor depends on quality factors quality factors depends on value of R4 and C4. So high quality factor inductor, that means you need a high value of capacitance and high value of resistance, that makes the circuit costly. So it is only useful for the measurement of quality of inductor having quality factor from 1 to 10. And this bridge is required a variable capacitor, which may be a very expensive. Also so there is a limitation, that means the variable capacitor is a very costly device. So in the next bridge we have to overcome the disadvantage of Maxwell's inductance bridge. So next so there is another bridge I will discuss in the next part of the AC bridge. Okay.